So we've been implementing several use cases that are available only to the admin and protecting them, right? So that not anybody just can come in here and use them, right? So only an admin can find all the users, create a brand new user, or delete an existing user. And let's do the last one: update a user, right? So for updating a user, um, let's go back to our users here that Brad can list over here. And I'd like to be able to modify these. So first of all, I need to be able to select a user for editing. So for instance, I can add maybe like a pencil or something, right, next to each one of these so that they can be edited. So let's go to the template for this. And I believe this is a template. Let's add at the last column here. Let's add the next to the remove. We'll add a pencil. So this is, I think it's called pencil. Yep. And this is going to be maybe select user. Select user for editing. So what this is going to do is in the controller for this, right? Select user is going to select user. Right, it's just going to copy, right, the data from the object that is currently selected, and just going to copy it over onto the top there. Actually, we probably might not even need a function here. Let's see if we can do it without the function. We could just say, well, actually, we have a problem, right? Because this is user equal user. That's an ambiguity, right? Because our local object is called user, yes, but the outer one in the form is also called user, right? So the one is has a higher scope. So what we could do is just maybe rename one of them. Right? Maybe this is denoting that it's a local variable. Okay. And create user is going to be passed along here, right? And now we can distinguish these. We can say underscore user user. Okay. All right. Okay. So if we try that out, let's see if this breaks. So if I click on this, it's not working. Is it giving me some errors? ng click user equal user. Doesn't like that, huh? Why not? Why not? Underscore user. Did I call it right? Model. Username. ng model underscore user dot username. User. Why are you not? User model. You're iterating and is user. That should have worked. Underscore user equal user. User. All right, whatever. We'll actually, did I break this completely? Let's see. Okay, so I can still create users. Anyway, so let's go out to a model dot select user and user, and let's make sure that in the controller we implement the select user right here in a function. So function select user. So we'll make sure that we can print out the user. And what happened to all my users? What did I do? Wait, let me see if I get an error. Is it an error? All right, okay. Select user. Ah, okay. Okay, what is it saying? Okay, it says admin blah 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 blah. Admin user controllers line 11. Select. Oh, select the. Okay, select the. Okay, so where did I spell this? Select user, and this is select the. No, okay, select user. Select user. Okay. Oh. All right. So if I click on this, oh, those X's and that pencil is awfully close. All right. So I have the object. So basically, I need to copy it over here. But notice that the controller has no way into the template for that user there, right? What we'll need to do is probably just do something like model dot user equal user, and rename all those underscores, right? All those underscores, right? Rename all these to be model dot user, right? So let's replace all those. Okay, model dot user. All right, let's try that now. Let's refresh, and if we select, there we go. So we're copying each one of these folks right onto the first column, the first row. Make sense? All right. So what I'd like to be able to do now is be able to modify the role or modify any of these things, right? Any of these elements, but in particular the role. Right? I'd like to be able to change that. So for instance, here for QWE, right, I like to change it and say, well, now you're an admin or student or whatever. Notice that it's changing it on the client, and we know why why is that, right? Typically, we'd like to be able to copy these things, right? So in this instead, what we would like to be able to do is something like angular.copy, right? So that they're unbound from one another, right? They don't have references. Nevertheless, what I'd like to be able to do is be able to update. So let's create an update user. Right, update user. Okay, and that update user will be added, will be modified if I click here on some button on the right hand side. Right. So that can be done as the last element here. So let's copy that, and this would be update user, and it'll pass the model. Right. If I refresh, I have two checkboxes. So probably the one that creates should be a plus instead of a checkbox. Right? The one that creates. So for create, probably we'll change this to a plus. Is there a plus? Yes. Plus sign. There. So the plus is to create. Uh-oh. Did I break it again? Do I not have update user? Probably that's what it is, right? Yeah, I don't have update user. Update user. Okay. Yes, I know. Let's create update user right here. So this would be function update user, and it'll use user service dot update user, and probably user ID, I believe. Right? And once it's done, we want to just find all users. Let's see if that works. So let's select QWE here, and let's change their first, last name, and everything. So let's do an OK. Okay, that worked, right? So we went out, and I believe we had already implemented update user from previous, right? Now the interesting part is, can we update the role, right? So can I change this to admin? Will that work? Okay. Notice that it didn't quite work. See that? Notice that it's an array of a string that has a comma in between, as opposed to as an array of separate strings, right? So we need to fix that so that on the update user, on the in the model, let's see, in the user model, in the update user, right? We want to make sure. Oh, we can't change the username. We can't change the password. Okay, fine. What we'll do is that we'll check to see. Right, we'll check to see if what's coming is just a string. Right? If it's just a string. If it's a string, then we're going to comma separate it and rebuild the array. Right? Actually, let's see what comes in here. Let's put a breakpoint. And let's try that and do it again. Let's try to modify maybe this one over here. Okay, and let's change that to admin over here. So say OK. So we're on the server. Let's look at the new user. If we hover that and we look at the roles, notice that it comes in as an array, as a string. See that? Comes in as a string. So that's not good, right? So we would like to check to see if it's a string. If it's an array, we'll leave it. Okay, but if it's a string, that's not good. Right? That's not good. So we're just gonna split it. Okay? So let's abort. So what we could do is we can check for the type of the role. We can say if type of new user roles, if this is equal to string, right? If it's a string, then that's not good, right? We're going to split it. We're going to say that new user roles, right, is going to be equal new user roles split on a comma. Okay? Yes. You're right. It didn't validate it. It should have validated it. Now let me look into that. Why is it not doing that? Let me log in again as Brad. Brad QQ. And if I go there, admin user, and I change this guy right here, and I change this to be admin. It's okay. Right, comes in, steps in. So it's a string. It's going to split it, right? And the new roles is now hopefully an array of 2 elements. You say okay, and continues. And now DDD has a user and admin. Make sense? All right. All right. So there you have it. So you were able to do all the CRUD operations, and the very last thing would be that we would need to protect that, right? Also, this should be protected. And if we want to allow a user to change their own their own profile, it should be a separate call, right? So it would be separate from an admin being able to modify anybody, or somebody modifying themselves, right? So there we have it. So we have all the CRUD operations protected for the admin purposes, and we have separate calls for individual user, right? All right. So next, what I'd like to talk about is being able to integrate with third-party authentication parties. So that's like Google or Facebook and whatnot. All right. We'll do that next.